It's Saturday the 9th of August and I've actually been really good at not working at the weekends this year. However, due to an accidental poisoning of 3/4 of my family, myself included, early hours of Thursday morning, that resulted in poor Boo Bear having to be admitted for an emergency appointment at the vet's, given some steroids and put in an oxygen tent, and poor Mr. Chibi Chi basically being completely wiped out and not being able to get out of bed yesterday, and myself feeling horrendous, like literally worse than when I had COVID. Yesterday was a write-off, so I am now desperately trying to catch up with everything. The irony that this all occurred because I was trying to improve my sleep quality has not passed me by. However, I digress. Boo's doing great. I managed to get a good 9.5 hours sleep last night. Mr. Chibi Chi is up and out of bed today, and although he's not feeling back to his usual self, he's definitely feeling a bit better than he was. So that means that I have limited time today to crack on. I've got an order that needs to go out and I wanted to do some filming for this studio vlog, so I thought I'd bring you along with me. Now, first up, we need to clean up this space. I'm going to try and move slowly so I don't give anybody motion sickness, but the joys of having a small space that is less than 2 by 3 meters means that it gets messy so very quickly, and I cannot stand clutter and mess, which is ironic because I'm such a messy person, but this all needs to go, so let's crack on. Be a good idea to update you with a few very exciting things that have been happening, and the first one brings me on to why I'm actually recording my first studio vlog of 2025 all the way in August. Now, lots of you that tune in every week will know that I create crafty videos, tutorials, DIYs along with my brand sponsor Paper Cuts. Now, these are fantastic and I enjoy doing them, but obviously they are very time consuming. Each video takes between 6 to 8 hours to film, edit, make the thumbnail, write the description, upload, do the shorts, everything that goes with it. So that has meant that not much time has been left for me to create actual studio vlogs, which if you are an OG member of my channel, you will know that way back in 2021 or 2020, whenever it was my channel started, I should really know that. That was how I started, was with studio vlogs and day in the lives, and it was something that I really enjoyed, and it is something that I have been watching for the entirety of my YouTube love. Probably even before I started my own channel, it was something that brings me lots of joy, inspiration, and something that I desperately wanted to get back to. So a couple of months ago, a lovely chap reached out to me asking about whether or not I had a video editor. And at first I said thank you, but no thank you. It's really not something that at this stage of my journey I can kind of give the time up and the money up to do when I already edit my videos. He was very lovely, very persuasive, and we got to chatting, and I decided that after I crunched the numbers that actually it was costing me a lot of my time to edit these videos, and perhaps it would be a good idea to hand the reins over on a temporary basis. He is qualified and trained in an area that I am just self-taught and winging it most of the time. So for the last 2 videos, my lovely video editor has taken over that side of things, and we work really well together, and it has actually freed me up to create some more content like this. I can't promise you a studio vlog every week or 2 uploads every week. That is definitely not going to happen, but it is hopefully something that moving forward we are going to be seeing a bit more of. Oh, my knees. I am literally down on the floor here because of it's the only way to get the camera angle I need to show you my next exciting update. Now, this isn't mine, but the wonderful Fairy Arts, who is a very close friend of mine, has gone home to Berlin for the summer, and she has asked me to look after her baby, to run it through, to make sure that the inks don't dry in a tank. And this is a sublimation printer, for those of you that don't know. And she has also kindly said that obviously I can borrow it while she's away, because she knows how much I have been trying to fathom out whether or not it's worth me getting one of these for myself. And it has meant that I have been able to start pressing and having a play with items like this. You may remember this illustration from about a year ago where I never actually got around to doing anything with it, but I've created this bookmark. There will be a tassel, obviously, and I have got some other blanks to try out as well. And the lovely Fee has very kindly lent me her mug press as well, along with some mug blanks, because she knows, one moment, let me get them, that I have been desperately trying to finalise part of my Planning Makes It Happen launch, which is mugs. And the problem is Fee has relied on me to provide her with the artwork, and obviously because of sublimation, mug pressing isn't something that I am experienced in. My artwork wasn't working. I was very adamant that I wanted it top to bottom and with the cool wraparound, and she has very gently explained to me multiple times it can't be too close because we end up with things like this. So she thought it would be a good idea that if I borrow the mug press and can have a play for myself. She's kindly left me some blanks as well. I know I keep saying kindly, but Fee is just like the most amazing, wonderful human being, and somebody that I count myself very lucky to have as a close friend as well. So kind and lovely and wonderful are just the adjectives that go with her hand in hand. So hopefully this means that I'm going to be adding to my creations and to the listings that I offer. Goodness, what is going on here? Somebody desperately needs a haircut. Just ignore it. We're just going to carry on. Oh, still not completely flushed everything out of my system from the other night, so I'm a bit breathless and I'm drinking lots of water. Okay, so part of the sublimation printing also goes hand in hand with some other decisions that I've been making behind the scenes. Those of you that have been following my journey for a long time know that although I had my shop from 2013, it wasn't until 2016-17 that I pivoted into making cake toppers and makeup bags. Originally it was paper cut designs. And that pivot brought me the highest earnings that I had seen in my business. But from about 2021, my listings and my orders have been declining, and I think it's time for another pivot. For those of you that don't know, I have a passion in illustrating. It is something that I returned to after an almost 20-year break, and something that I have been wanting to pivot the business into, but being too nervous and having too much imposter syndrome to actually push myself to get to do it, which is ridiculous, I know. And I have lots of you lovely people asking if they can buy my designs as prints, and I've always said yeah, sure, just let me list it, and it's never happened. But I am starting to realise that post-pandemic, post-lockdowns, the handmade business side of my sector has become oversaturated. So the things that used to sell really well, such as my makeup bags, I am lucky to sell one a month now, sadly. And I can't compete with people that are just doing it as a hobby and are charging half the price that I am, because they just want to make maybe £1 or £2 per item and are not needing to use it to pay the bills, which is fine. But it does mean that I need to pivot. So pivot I am going to, and I'm going to start leaning more on my hand illustrated side of things. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fit this all in. I already have 3 jobs. I have a very, very unique, shall we say, working career. But I'm going to do it because of illustrating brings me joy, and I want to start seeing my designs on things. I have really got to grips with DTF transfers. This is something, again, the launch that I've mentioned previously hasn't happened. This comes everywhere with me. It's got my business diary in for Chibi Chi, my Filofax, which has got both personal and my other 2 business bits and pieces in, pencil case filled with stuff and loads of pens, and it is great. And again, I had started the launch, haven't got around to it, but this was designed over a year ago. Terrible, I know. So my plan and my goal somehow is to try and get structure in place to start making all of these pivots a reality. So this is just to let those of you know, small businesses that are perhaps just beginning, or perhaps even those that are really established. I have been on my small business journey for 12 years now. I have most definitely not got it all figured out, and this is a big time of change for me. So just to let you know, if you're experiencing the same, you are not alone. Most days I feel like I'm winging it, and I feel like that's going to be the motto of my career. So I digress. Let's get on. We've got an order that needs to go out today, so it's time to get started. So I actually have one of my original designs that has sold this morning that needs to go out. I try to do up multiples of my cards when somebody orders. Obviously I know what my most popular colours are, and I am hoping I have got one in here. I do not. Typically it's black, so it's time to queue up the cutting machine. I'm just going to have a look to see if I've got the insert that I need, or whether I need to cut that as well. Nope, no spares, so I'm going to cut both of them, and then I will store the spares in here, ready for the next order. This was always my favourite bit of my paper cut designs, and that was weeding or revealing the actual paper cut from the backing paper. Takes a lot of patience, trusty tweezers, and sometimes a steady hand with a scalpel for any bits that have been missed. But luckily this is a fairly fresh blade in my silhouette, so I am hopeful that it's going to all be good. Ta-da! So this is great because sometimes, especially with slightly older blades, then most of this text has to be gone over by hand with a sharp scalpel, and it takes forever, and I have a tendency to chop off bits of the letter, meaning I've got to start again. The cutting machine seems to have gone a little bit awry on that A there, which means that we're going to have to get rid of this one and hopefully use the backup that's on here. This is definitely the most popular colour combo for this Art Deco style card. I have got no idea if it's because that's what's in the listing photo, or it's just a combination that everybody really likes. So we're going to label this up for my lovely customer on my little printed thank you cards, double-sided. And I quite like these because of having that bit on there means I just need to put the customer's name, but it's still handwritten from me. So we're now going to pop their card in. An envelope would also be beneficial. So they've just selected a white envelope. So that's going to go in my candy stripe bag and all sealed up with a sticker. And we are ready to go to the post box. Hopefully we're going to make last post on the Saturday. Well, hello everyone. Happy Monday. If you're in the UK, it is the 11th today, and we are entering our 4th heat wave of the year. A little appreciation and shout out for the me-made dress. Just because it is boiling hot and I am going to look like a hot mess within the next hour or so, doesn't mean we can't look fantastic whilst we're trying to struggle through. Also, of course, in typical fashion, I've got to put the heat press on. It's at 175 degrees at the moment, about to heat up to 185, so I can press an order. Very exciting news, and definitely warranted, because I've got to have all the doors and windows open because I'm so hot, and otherwise the background noise gets picked up. I've got a new toy. You might be able to see it just peeking here, but I treated myself. As you can see, I am now fully equipped. I'm like a professional. So I met the amazing Oko Poco, apologies if I'm mispronouncing your brand name, at Bournemouth Pride a couple of weeks ago, and I really liked her items, so I decided to give it a little follow on YouTube. And she had mentioned that she was testing out a new wireless mic, and the sound quality was really good. So I asked her which one she was using, expecting it to be Megabucks, and she really surprised me when she linked to this one. I will drop a link in the description box in case you're interested. I've had a little mini test, but not on actual filming. It seems really good, but obviously I'd love to know in the comments, what do you think? Is there a improvement in the sound quality or not? Hopefully you won't be picking up any of the background noise, and the lovely floppy mic heads, these ones here, means that I might be able to do some out and about filming, but we'll have to see. So now I need to open up the heat press and get a lovely boiling hot blast of warm air, because I need to do a milestone board and it's sublimation. And despite having made dozens and dozens and dozens of these, if not hundreds of these over the years, I still get incredibly nervous every time I have to do them. And it's ridiculous because I've brought a load of the dry erase board blanks, and because the lovely Fee has lent me her printer, if I do muck it up, then I've got spares. But again, it's just that anxiety is going. It's 11:25 now. I have done all of my client work. I was sat at my desk at 7:15, scoffing my porridge and drinking my tea whilst I'm working, trying to beat the heat. But I'm already behind schedule because I have got 3 minutes to do this order. And we all know that's not going to happen. So wish me luck. Let's go. Seconds. Alexa, stop. Oh, it's so incredibly hot, but I am so pleased it has turned out. I don't need to redo anything, so I can get that in the post. This is actually a duplicate or an order that has gone missing, annoyingly. So I'm going to get that out, first class upgrade obviously, and that needs to go out today. Okay, so I now need to start shooting for next week's YouTube video, so make sure you're staying tuned to my channel if you want to check that one out, but I will check in with you all later. Definite proof that the heat's affecting me. I have just had to record the same 8-minute segment 4 times. I'm not even joking. I either forgot to hit screen record or forgot to hit record on the wireless mic, or a combination of both. And now we've got an annoying wasp, fly, something buzzing around in here. I'm really struggling in my tiny workspace at the moment. It is about 27 degrees outside, and because of my space is so small and because all the papers and things that are in here, I can't really get a fan, and obviously air conditioning's way out of budget. So the reason that I start so early is so that I can be finished before the temperatures really ramp up at about 2 o'clock. But because I'm now so far behind, I'm going to have to work late. So I'm definitely going to have to think of an alternative. Wish me luck. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Yep, I know I'm in the same outfit, but I promise you it is Tuesday. So we're going to jump in today, and I think I'm going to call it, and this is going to be the final day of the vlog, because otherwise I'm just going to keep recording and then I'm never going to get around to editing, which we don't want. We want this one to go out. So I'm sure you remember my big folder from the other day. Well, this is the reason that I do duplicates of most of my popular designs and colour combos, because one of them has sold. So I'm going to actually be able to save a bit of time and just assemble it from here, which is perfect. I've also got a tree carving card that I need to get out today because I've got double nursing this week, which I'm not a fan of, not going to lie. It's actually the perfect day because of 2 of my clients have decided last minute to change up the times that I had scheduled for them. One, I've run out of content, and the other one's just decided to keep an hour in reserve. This is one of the biggest drawbacks of VA work, is that obviously you are at the whim of the clients and what they want you to do each week. So it's a bit tricky to have a concrete set of money coming in. But I digress. Let's crack on and get these orders done. I actually have no idea if you're going to see this piece of footage. Both of the cutting machines are running, so even with little Mike, it's extremely noisy in here. So I've got no idea if you're actually going to be able to hear what I'm saying. But it's 12:28, and even with both the windows and doors open, as you can see, I'm melting. So I am going to finish up these orders and then have a little rethink, because I can't stay in here. There is a very high probability that it is going to be another day where I don't get to have a play with my own newer designs and sublimating, because I can't cope with the heat, and the last thing I want to do is to have to bump the heat press on to 185 degrees Celsius. I think that'll be it. The air quality today is shocking, and that coupled with the accidental inhalation poison a few days ago means that I am struggling badly. So I'm thinking that it might be best to just call it a day on time for once. Let's see. So I'm back. Highly recommend hanging out in your local green space under a parasol. Lovely iced smoothies on tap. I took Chibi Chi Jr. and one of her friends. They entertained each other. I managed to get on with a little bit of drawing. Not too much, but just enough. And I also managed to stay out of the sun. So win-win. It was definitely cooler out there than it is in here. So it is now 5:30, time for me to think about going, but before I do, I just wanted to show you these. Chibi Chi Jr. has decided to pivot her business, and she is now making these scrunchies. She's actually sewed these herself, and I am super impressed. But obviously, as any proud mummy would, I've helped her with her packaging and created these. And of course I'm biased, but I think that they are adorable and she loves them as well. So I'm going to drop a link, shamelessly plug my daughter's new business description box. Check it out. She's only 9. She really wants to try and earn enough money to buy herself an iPad and an Apple Pencil so that she can design and make her own stickers. So obviously she's following in Mummy's footsteps, which is lovely. So that's it from me. I promised that today would be the last day of filming this studio vlog. Thank you so much for watching. This vlog has been very overdue, but I just haven't had the time. But fingers crossed, moving forward, we're going to be able to crack on and have vlogs at least once a month. Hopefully, that's the plan. If you have made it to the end of the vlog, I want you to leave me a little sunshine emoji. Take your pick, whatever sunshine emoji you would like. That means that you're extra special because you've watched it to the end. That means that you are one of my favourite viewers because you watched it to the end. Don't forget to like this video if you've liked it and subscribe. If you want to support me and the channel, then doing that helps, costs you absolutely nothing. Sharing it, great big bonus. And I do also have Ko-fi, which is where you can buy me a drink. non-alcoholic of course. Chai latte is my jam. Links for all of that is in the description box too. So I will see you next time, hopefully not that long.